question I love to ask all the amazing women. What would you say are some advantages to you being a woman in business?
I mean, women are so sexy.
They are.
We are so powerful beyond measure.
Yeah.
And our femininity is even more powerful than we probably know, and that we can probably recognize, and that we can probably realize. I
That's so
feel
true.
like with time, as time moves, I realize it and recognize it more and more.
Hmm.
Mhm.
It's so true, and I'm glad that you brought that up because one of the things that I know I absolutely shied away from, or some would say like dimmed my own light in a sense, is my own femininity growing up. And maybe it's because I developed at a really young age. And when all of the kids around me in school were not at the same place, and by kids more specifically, obviously the girls in school, just developing or having their menstrual cycle, and I already did, it was extremely uncomfortable and embarrassing. And so I was also one of the tallest girls and sometimes the tallest in all of my classes. So, in many senses, I always tried to shy away from that. I was extremely uncomfortable. And as I've grown, much like you said, I've realized how beautiful it is and how powerful it is. And I just want all the women out there listening, all the feminine creatures out there to embrace it more and more and understand what your feminine side looks like and how you can express that in a way that feels good to you because it comes in so many different shapes and sizes.
Absolutely. And I feel like we all have different outlets to express ourselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like femininity also has several outlets to express itself,
Mm,
meaning there's the romantic side of life, of course, which is the most beautiful thing in the universe. And then there's also the professional side of us. And then there's
mm-hmm.
also the individual side of us where nobody's around and we're being feminine towards ourselves.
Yeah.
And then there's the friendship side of us. And then there's so many more different levels: the creative, the energetic, the spiritual, the intellectual, the emotional. And so we have different outlets, and we have several outlets for our femininity to have a place or have places to express itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm. So true. So many layers to it. That's absolutely true. And when you're able to do it in a way that feels good to you and you feel safe in, it just creates magic. It's magical. So, speaking of these layers, I think that kind of goes right into the another question that I wanted to ask, which is, do you have specific either spiritual practices or rituals that you do to keep you in your happiest place?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes, share, please share with the audience.
So I'm a wholehearted believer and follower of Jesus Christ and the Holy Bible.
Mhm.
So what that means for me is so much of my time and space is dedicated to reading and studying and listening and talking about the Holy Bible scriptures. And being about it is a whole other conversation, right? And being about it in all those levels. So, how do I show up as my best self in the way that God sees me? In the creative level, and the energetic level, and the emotional level, and the romantic level, and the professional level. Like, that is a whole other practice. And so, in order to practice it on a day to day basis, it requires studying.
Mm,
And that studying time for me is precious. and my whole life revolves around it. So it's the main priority because I know how much weight it holds for the
Yeah.
rest of the things in life.
Hmm. That made me want to take a deep breath. So beautiful. You know, it's incredibly important that we plug into our beliefs. And obviously, it has supported you, protected you, provided for you in incredible ways, I'm sure.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. So we only have a little bit of time left here, and I'm trying to decide. There's so many good questions I want to ask you, but I think more than anything, the thing that's coming to me right now is there anything specific that is on your heart or in your mind that you're feeling called to share with the audience? Somebody out there listening that you just feel like they need to hear this right now.
Oh, thank you for asking that question.
Yeah.
So, I know that for a lot of people who are avid readers, reading a book and listening to an audiobook is like a piece of cake. And then there's other people in the world that prefer to scroll through a YouTube channel or prefer to scroll through social media and learn that way. However, you learn, be it auditory, visual, the conversation about being at your happiest is available through all those mediums from me. And I really want people to believe and know without a doubt, so undoubtedly in an unwavering way, that they can be at their happiest and stay at their happiest over time, over long periods of time, over years. And it doesn't mean that life is perfect. It means that life is, you're living it at your all time high, however you define that. And I feel like so many people that I bump into in the past believe that happiness is all there is to aim for. And they don't even think beyond being happy. They just think about being happy and not at their happiest.
Mm,
And there's so much more to life on the other side of happy. There's so much more to life on the other side of happier. And it's called happiest. And it's a very deep conversation that requires spiritual words and conversations about how you define your spirituality. It requires a deep conversation about your creativity, about your emotions, about your physical, about your environment, and about so much more. So it is a deep conversation. It's why I wrote the book. And it's why there's a communication on all mediums for you to take a look and dive deeper when you're ready and when you're able and when you're prepared.
yes. So please share with everybody, and thank you so much for that. Um, Share with everybody how they can find this information from you because I highly, highly recommend it. I know you guys can hear it just from her voice. She is exactly how she seems to be that you're listening. Every time I'm talking to you, you're just such a light. So, how can people find you?
Well, they can find me by closing their eyes and thinking of me. And
Oh,
they can also find me in in these things called Amazon.com and YouTube.com and so on and so forth. When you Google "Don't F with my joy" hashtag I am happiest, things appear. And I hope that you tell somebody to not F with your joy today so that you can be at your happiest. Because sometimes we have to defend ourselves and sometimes we have to defend our own thoughts. So sometimes we're talking to ourselves when we say that.
yes.
So enjoy, 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 and stay smiling.
Stay smiling. Love, love, love. And for anybody out there who wants to find out more information with me or connect with me, the easiest place to do that is on my website. You can find me at jillianbeth.love. There's a cool 5 simple steps to leverage your feminine superpowers. If you want to check that out, I'd love to have you do that. And definitely, keep tuning in here. We have some amazing conversations. Continue to. You are an awesome guest. I'm just truly grateful for you being with us. And thank all of you for hanging out with us again today. My desire is for every single one of you hearing my voice to be living out your soul's purpose.